Uh, 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 uh. My name's Mitch, and I like to talk about sports. Uh, uh. My name's Mitch, and I like to talk about uh, 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 sports.
Welcome to the Andy and Mitch Show. Welcome to episode 003. Yay!
Woo!
I
We
feel
made
like
it three.
I
Trifecta.
feel like we should have some The Price is Right music going on right now, but
Yeah.
it's just us because we don't want copyright infringement or anything. So this is the third week, episode 003. Still no Kristaps Porzingas. We're gonna work on that.
Yeah, we'll work on it. I tweet at him every time.
Did you?
Every time we finish an episode, I tweet the episode to him.
All right, he's gonna get it one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days.
We'll get him on. Probably.
All right, Andy, how was your week? Was it good?
I had a pretty good week. I actually had a really great week. Earlier this week on Saturday, I got to direct my first no-hitter because only pretty close friends know, but I actually work for the Kenosha Kingfish, which is the hat I'm actually wearing today. Because I got to do a different hat every week. I work for them in the video production department, and it's pretty much only me in that department and my boss, and one other guy. But I got the opportunity to direct a doubleheader on Saturday, which was funny because as soon as the doubleheader started, everyone felt like they wanted to kill each other. Because when you work baseball, you're like, oh, we gotta be here and we gotta work. Because everyone was pissed off at the beginning of the day. But as soon as the no hitter ended, everyone was super excited, and then there were fireworks. It was 4th of July weekend.
Oh yeah.
So it was a pretty good week. What about you, Mitch? How was your week?
My week was pretty bad actually. The 4th of July was nice.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Got to be with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
But a few days before that, I was playing basketball, and my glasses fell off my face and hit the ground and shattered, and plastic and glass, a mixture got in my eyebrow, and so this is why it's glasses-less Mitch today for you.
It's all right. It looks good still.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, no problem. Earlier this week, I actually got to listen to a podcast that I really liked. It was the Sports Illustrated Media Podcast. And in this specific podcast, they interviewed two sports broadcasting agents. It's guys that represent the broadcasters, and it was really cool to listen to. And it just made me really pumped up to get ready for broadcasting and stuff.
In your future, yes.
Oh yeah, I'll have an agent in my future, maybe.
It'll be me. I'll be your agent.
Can you be my agent
and
a communications teacher at the same time?
Yeah, I'll do both.
All right. Well, first off,
get you one that can do both, Andy. It's me.
Well, we do want to mention. You can see my mouse hovering over Mitch's face right now. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to our channel because I think we passed 100 views.
We did pass
100 views.
100 views.
We're at 110 views at the time of recording this, which is absolutely insane.
Incredible.
Cannot believe that. I can't believe 110 people, or at least 110 times, someone on Earth said, you know what? I'm going to give this a listen. That's incredible. We also have 8 subscribers. That's freaking awesome.
That's pretty cool, too.
So anyone who's viewed this, just thanks. We're going to get that out first thing. Mitch is blessing up right now.
Bless up.
Thank you.
Go Warriors. Go Warriors.
Yeah, you're wearing your Warrior shirt today.
Yeah, I got the Warriors today because we pretty much just won the 2016-2017 NBA championship as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
so
we'll get into that. That's one of the things we're talking about. Obviously, the big news out of Golden State is coming up. We have a fan-requested topic we're going to do, and the MLB All-Star rosters we're just now. But right now, there's some pretty much breaking news that's going on right now. We're not going to talk about it, but there are some headlines that are pretty interesting. Mitch, you want to go?
Yeah, absolutely. So, track runner who used to be in the Olympics, Oscar Pistorius, he was just sentenced to 6 years in prison for the killing of his girlfriend. I don't know much about it, but that's pretty tragic.
Yeah, we're not going to get political on this show, but you'd think like someone who committed a crime as bad as murder, you'd think they'd get more
Yeah.
than 6 years, but
Yeah.
I mean, it. I can't say for certain, but it definitely feels like the athlete, like
Yeah.
kind of, yeah,
Lenient.
the court,
And I
being
guess kind
lenient
of going
towards them.
along with that is Messi. He and his
Yeah.
father just got sentenced to jail time for tax fraud, and that's been in the news for a couple of years now. But he just got sentenced to jail time for tax fraud, and he will actually never be in jail though. He got sentenced.
What is the point then? What's the
I
point of
don't
sentencing
know.
him?
Y- I there's some controversy
Yeah.
there. We won't get into that. And
No.
then I guess the biggest another big news is
The
that
biggest one for
Ray
you.
Allen may
Yeah.
be making a return to the NBA. He's considering the Spurs, Clippers, Cavaliers, and Warriors.
God, imagine the
And think about
Warriors.
this though: if they got the Warriors, they would have the top five um, most threes in a season, like
All
players to.
time, yeah.
Steph Curry has three, Clay's on there once, and then Ray Allen holds the fifth spot.
I mean,
So
Ray Allen had that record for a while.
a long
And
time.
then Steph Curry beat him like 3 years in a
3
row.
years in a row, yeah.
Yeah. Other big news: Dwayne Wade is currently, as we're filming this,
Hmm.
he's going around and pretty much just getting, you know,
Courted
courted by teams.
by the
So
Nuggets, Bulls, Bucks, and then obviously the Heat are trying to retain their star player.
technically the Heat. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get more into Dwayne Wade later,
Hmm.
but we're gonna get into our first topic. Mitch, you want to lead it off?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, as we've said, and as you guys probably all know, Kevin Durant has chosen to take his talents to the area of Oakland and join Stephen Curry, the two-time reigning MVP, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and Steve Kerr on the Warriors. Some people are calling this the greatest team ever assembled. Other people are criticizing Durant for the decision. So, Andy, did Kevin Durant make the right decision?
Make the right decision?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. Time will tell about that one. If he wins a championship, then it's clearly the right decision.
Yeah.
Because it's only a 2-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
So who
He
knows
can
how
he
long?
can opt out after the first year too.
Yeah, who knows how long Kevin Durant will stay in Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
The right move is, oh man, I don't know. I say if he wins a championship, it's the right move. But if this whole thing crashes and burns, then he'll probably regret not staying in Oklahoma City. Because if you're Kevin Durant, you had to feel like, I don't know. I guess they had a chance to win.
Yeah.
They had a chance to win this past year.
They had a chance to close out the Warriors.
Yeah, they did.
3 separate times.
They
and
did.
Kevin Durant showed up for neither of the three.
Neither of the three? None of the
Neither
three?
of the none of the three.
None of the three, I think, is what you're looking for. But
Yeah.
it's tough to say because you see this all the time. People are saying like, "Oh, it's a new school thing," but like people have like always done it. Like Gary
Mhm.
Payton went to the Heat and he went to the Lakers. It's like people have done it before. Shaq left Orlando to go to LA.
Shaq's been on every team.
Yeah, Shaq has been on every team. I think he's worn every color of the rainbow as a jersey color. So this isn't new. So I don't know why people are getting so angry. I think it's just another reason to hate Kevin Durant.
It is.
But the thing is, a lot of people have like gained a reason to hate Kevin Durant. I have lost a reason to hate Kevin Durant because Mitch, I have been a stone cold Kevin Durant hater simply because of Lil B.
Yes.
Base God.
Yes.
I always listen to Lil B. So if he tells me that I need to hate Kevin Durant, then I need to hate
You're
Kevin
going
Durant.
to, yeah.
I'm going to. But the thing is, the curse was lifted.
It was.
Because he joined Golden State, Lil B's team. So I don't know what to do with Kevin Durant now. Do I just accept him back into my life? Or do I continue to hate him? I don't know.
The way that I think about it is like, I'm biased, obviously, because
clearly.
I'm a Warriors fan.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors fan in me is ecstatic. I hope that this team meshes. I hope that they work very well together, and I think that they could potentially be the greatest team ever assembled. If this team loses more than 10 games, they're going to be criticized
Oh
so
yeah.
hard.
Oh yeah.
But there's so many things to think about in this move. Social media's reaction, his personal thoughts. Moving his family to Oakland, to the Bay Area. Fans from OKC, fans from Golden State. And Stephen A. Smith actually recently said that this is the weakest move he's ever seen by a superstar, and I actually disagree with this. Obviously it's a chance for him to go out and get a ring, and establish himself as a really great scorer, a great defender, and a great winner. Something that he's
Yeah.
really never done. And so many people are like, oh well, his shoe sales are gonna go down, like his reputation is already down the drain. I don't think Kevin Durant cares about that right now.
No, clearly not. He
He's
just all he
entering
does is want to win a championship
he,
right now.
he's entering the prime of his career. I don't think that he'll ever win an MVP ever again, especially if he's on the Warriors, because there's
Yeah.
so many. He's not going to be able to put up 28 points a game when he's with all of these other people. When
Yeah,
he's with Curry.
it'll be weird to see how that dynamic will change.
Yeah.
Because when you add another big scorer like that, sometimes it doesn't go too well. I'm trying to think of a scenario right now, but it's really hard to accommodate all of those scorers.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you have Dick Cleveland, for example. Kyrie and LeBron will get their chances, but Kevin Love used to score a ton.
Yeah.
And now it's like he almost does nothing just because he's on the Cavaliers with Kyrie and LeBron. So where does that leave Draymond, and where does that leave Clay? Are they going to get the same amount of touches? Probably not.
Curry has said that he wants the workload a little bit off of him.
Okay.
Because they relied on him so much throughout the season.
Yeah, I think that's where they went wrong in the finals too.
And they had such a good team. Now they just have one more weapon that they can go to in crunch time, if it even makes it to crunch time. Let's be honest, This team might score 120 points a game the way that they're looking. And they just signed Zaza Pachulia, a good offensive threat, not very good on defense. So if you're a team that is facing the Warriors, you got to attack inside, because all they have inside is Dre, and he's not a fantastic rim protector.
No.
He's good on the perimeter. He's good defending the drive, but if they get inside, they're going to score very, very easily. They also just signed David West and like we said, Ray Allen, but none of those guys are great defenders.
No, but I think what the funniest thing is that they did add a lot of height in Kevin Durant. So I recently read the article where he's listed as 6'9", like in all NBA credentials, but he's actually 6'11".
Yeah,
which
he
I
is.
think is super funny that he would do that kind of thing. And the Warriors aren't taller than like 6'6". What is Draymond Green? He's like,
I don't know.
I think Draymond is like 6'6". He's not that tall.
He's taller than 6'6".
Do you think so?
Well, oh yeah.
We need to check our facts on that. But anyways, they did gain a lot of height inside Kevin Durant as well as scoring.
Yeah, and then you get rid of Harrison Barnes, you get rid of Bogut. Oh, I'm fine with getting rid of Bogut. I always hated
everyone
Bogut. You get rid of Ezeli, who struggled a little bit in the finals, but he was a great defender. He's just height added to the team. So this team is built to win a game where the Warriors win 144 to 120. They're built to just score, and they say defense wins championships, but you can't compete with that if you're scoring 150 points a game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all time will tell, because we've seen so many, big teams like this. We've seen so many come in like, oh, they're going to be the best team ever, and then they just aren't. So I'm holding off on any type of opinion on this. I think if it was me, I think I probably would have done the same thing if I was the Warriors. I would have felt, excuse me, I burped, weird about it, but if you like have 2K or something, if you're playing 2K, all right. This is what I use because it's the best example of me being in the GM's like being
Yeah.
in the GM's shoes. If you're like you playing 2K, you're gonna try and sign the best player out there if it's your time to win the championship. I mean, that's what I've done in like every sports video game when I'm playing the general manager. It's just kind of like what you do. So if I was in his shoes, I mean, I would probably definitely do the same thing. But you got to
Yeah.
worry about the effect that it has on
You know,
chemistry in the locker room.
I saw this on Twitter. Some guy was like, me takes best job in field with the best company that you can.
Yeah.
It was the obvious choice. Kevin Durant does it. He gets all this backlash.
Yeah.
You suck. Like you're gonna do terrible there. It's still a business, and he needs to establish his legacy, and he's doing all that he can to get into the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
That is the end of the day. You want to be remembered in the NBA for all that you did, and I think that he made the best choice that he could make because he signed with the best team, and you're going to get backlash because of it, but at the end of the day, the rest of the NBA is just scared of what your team can accomplish.
This also adds this weird. It doesn't add it, but it adds on to the dynamic that there's only a couple of teams in the NBA that can feasibly win the championship next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I agree.
I mean, I saw a tweet where it was like they took a poll and they went down like each league and how many teams could like has a chance at winning the championship. They started with like 22 in the NHL, like have a chance at winning the championship next year, to 3 in the NBA.
I wonder what 3 they put.
It's Warriors, Cavs, Spurs, I bet.
I don't think that the Spurs can win, honestly.
Aldridge, I think maybe.
With Aldridge, Kawhi, and now Pau Gasol, they have a good team, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a good team.
So those are the only 3 that have a chance.
Which is correct.
I know. The Thunder had a chance last year, but as soon as you lose Durant and Ibaka, no chance. You're gonna make the playoffs probably.
Maybe.
But now they're only as good as the Portland Trailblazers.
That's what
one has Westbrook, one has Lillard. They're the same
I think
team
Westbrook is better than Lillard, though.
Yes, I do. I probably like Lillard more, but I think Westbrook is probably better.
And then Oladipo serves as sort of a CJ McCollum, and then, I think that the Thunder need to build around Oladipo and Steven Adams. I think that, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but that's the future of their team because Westbrook is not re-signing next year.
No, he's not.
So,
That's actually a different topic that we'll get into later about Westbrook.
Yeah.
It'll be tough. But yeah, just more NBA stuff after the KD. I think we pretty much kicked the horse into oblivion on that one.
I definitely think so. Good move for himself. The rest of the NBA is going to hate you no matter where you go. So.
And my decision's still out. I'm not sure yet. You say good move.
I think it's a good move.
I'm gonna wait until the end of next season until I say what that is. But still in the NBA, just a quick minute. Where do you think Wade is gonna land? Which is interesting because we discussed earlier that he's in talks with the Heat. I think the big 4 are the Heat right now, the Nuggets, the Bucks, and the Bulls. Those are the 4 that he has had discussions with.
The Nuggets have offered him the most money.
Yes, the Nuggets are at 2 years, $50
north
million.
of $50 million.
Yeah. And Heat are at 2 years, $40 million.
Yeah, and that's around where the Bulls and Bucks are going to be as well.
I read that somewhere that the Bulls are considering giving him a 3-year deal.
Yeah, and they're the only team that will give him that 3-year deal.
And the Bulls fan inside of me right now is I don't know what to think. Clearly, we're in a rebuilding stage, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with rebuilding. I was stuck with the Cubs throughout their rebuilding, and now look where they are.
I agree.
And rebuilding's fine. It's just getting through it. But if they're in the rebuilding stage, why would they go out and sign Wade? It's kind of like why would they go for Rondo? I think what Gar and Pax are trying to do, I think they're trying to convince their bosses that they're trying to make the team win.
I agree.
When in reality, they are actually doing this rebuilding process.
I agree.
It's like I saw Tom Fornelli tweet that, and I'm like, you are absolutely right, because that's what they're doing. Why would you sign Rondo we all know Rondo's not good.
Rondo, what are you talking about?
Rondo's
Rondo averaged over like 13 assists last year.
I realize that, but just Rondo like as a player and like is he someone you want on your team?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I love the move
There's
personally.
absolutely no way I want Rondo on my team.
I love it.
I
Can
think
you
he's gonna.
imagine that? Can
I
you
think
imagine Rondo trying to deal with the Bulls front office?
yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be fun to
Yeah.
watch and like explode. But if you're building a legitimate contender, I don't think Rondo's someone you want to have on your team.
The '08 Celtics did it.
Yeah, but that was so long ago. That was 8 years ago.
I
Mitch.
know.
That was
I
so
know.
long ago. But
I like the move personally. I do.
so what I'm saying on Rondo is I like the move because it's gonna make losing 50 games fun. But
You're not gonna lose 50 games. Come on now. You think this Bulls team's gonna go 32-50?
yeah, I kind of do. They're gonna get close to 50. Okay, you can all you want, but we're gonna see who's right at the end of the year. But yeah, we got to go into our next topic, which is we talked about him earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
What do the Thunder do with Westbrook? You mentioned that Westbrook is not going to come back to the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned that the Thunder are only as good as the Trailblazers right now, which leaves the question, do the Thunder just go full rebuilding mode and trade Westbrook for some younger players that they can build around in the future since they're only going to get 1 year left of Westbrook? Mitch, if you are the Thunder GM, you got Westbrook right in front of you, what are you doing with him?
I play with him for around 30 games.
Okay.
Then I get rid of him. You don't need him on your team right now. You know, your team is probably still going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
You know, if you have Westbrook on the team and you keep him the whole year, your team will probably make the playoffs. Westbrook's a top 5 player in the league, undoubtedly. But I would get rid of him. You have Oladipo, you have Steven Adams. Enes Kanter's not as good as people thought that he would be, but he's still good. Cameron Payne is a very, very, very formidable starting point guard, in my opinion.
Okay.
I would get rid of him, get some young guys. I don't know where you would trade him to because a lot of teams don't need a point guard right now.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's right.
what if he went to the Pelicans?
Who would the Pelicans give back, though?
Drew Holiday, Eric Gordon's on the Kings now, I believe.
Yeah.
But you got Tyreek Evans, you got Drew Holiday there. I think they need to go to the Pelicans.
Oh, Westbrook
I like
and Davis.
that. Yeah, that would be fun.
For the Thunder, though, I don't think it's enough to get Westbrook. If I'm the Thunder GM, I probably trade him before the year starts because I think I'm probably getting more out of him then than if I trade him halfway through the year. Because then he's only a rental for whoever's team that is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like baseball. You're gonna get way more if you trade him with a lot of years left on their contract than if you trade him with half a year left.
Yeah, you're right.
But if you're trying to suck all the value out of him as like that you can get with the Thunder and try and possibly make the playoffs, then you keep Westbrook. For me, as soon as I lose Durant, I just whatever. Rebuilding mode. Well, I guess I like rebuilding, so I guess I might go into rebuilding mode too soon sometimes, but that's just me.
I don't know. You know, Billy Donovan is a great coach too.
Oh, he's awesome, yeah.
With young players like Cameron Payne, Oladipo. Oladipo is only in his, I think, 3rd or 4th year.
Yeah, he's not old.
He's still got a while. You got rid of Serge Ibaka, which I think was a really great move. Mm-hmm. He's getting older. He's not the same defender as he was in your 2012-13 finals campaign. But I think that you got to get rid of Westbrook. If you can get rid of him now, do it. But I would try and get rid of him before the trade deadline. Absolutely. I don't know what team is going to take him for half a year. Yeah. You might have to trade him somewhere where, he would stay. And it's kind of hard to think of a team that would be like, all right, we only want him for 1 year.
Yeah,
because
that Westbrook Davis combo though you got in my head now.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be good.
That would be really nice. You said that he'll go to L.A.
Yes, I believe when he hits free agency, he'll definitely give strong consideration to LA, mostly because he went to UCLA, and
Yeah.
LA is going to have that type of money next offseason.
They're going to, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
It's just a matter of, do you want to sign Westbrook, even though you have D'Angelo Russell? Which would be a little bit weird with both of them. But if you, even if you're the Clippers,
put Russ at the 2 guard.
Yeah, that would work. I don't know. Lakers got to do something eventually.
Yeah.
You're the friggin' Lakers, and you have all this money because of Los Angeles. You got to do something.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, shall we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, this is the one that we had fan requested.
Yes, and so for some reason, the media will not stop talking about Tom Brady and Deflategate. And this topic was fan requested. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady thinks that the case of Brady and the NFL Players Association versus the NFL should go to the Supreme Court because it's about the fundamental right of American workers and a dangerous threat to industrial peace. And I got that from ESPN.
Yeah.
So I have 2 questions for you, Andy. Should this case go to the Supreme Court, and should Tom Brady have to fulfill his suspension?
Should it go to the Supreme Court? Absolutely not. Because it's friggin' football. It's not something important. And should he be suspended? I don't know. I'm a little biased because I don't like Tom Brady. He wins too much. Well, that happens with anyone. If anyone wins too much, everyone immediately just hates them because you want to see someone different win. That's how I am with Brady. I've never been a fan. And I've never had him in fantasy football, and he always destroys me in fantasy football. And my cousin Allie, I remember, who doesn't watch football, like her second year ever playing fantasy football, we tell her to pick Tom Brady in like the 12th round because she was like, "Oh, he's good. I've heard of him before." And we're like, "He's suspended. Like, you can take him." No one else wanted to pick him that early. So she picked him in the 12th round. And then he had his suspension overturned like immediately after that draft. And I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me." And then she almost won the league. Thank God she did not. But Tom Brady has always screwed me over with all of this. So honestly, I am fine with him being suspended. Do I think he did anything wrong? No. I don't know. Yes. He's probably done something wrong. The thing is, I don't know if he deflated the footballs, but isn't in his entire career from winning as much as he has, he's definitely probably done something wrong. Like, you remember Spygate?
Yeah.
Maybe this is from Spygate.
That wasn't on Brady, though.
He was involved, probably. You can't tell me that Brady wasn't involved in something that the Patriots are doing like that.
Hashtag free Brady.
Hashtag do not free Brady. Brady, just keep getting suspended. I don't care. I mean, it's literally been beaten to the point where I don't care anymore. Like, I want him to be suspended because so many people are like, "Free Brady, he didn't do anything wrong," and ESPN is picking all this coverage up, and it's just like, I don't care anymore. Like basketball, like I don't care. Like, you talk about basketball like for 55 minutes of an hour Sports Center, and I'm just like, please stop. Like, I hate it.
I can smell the salt.
Yeah, I get salty sometimes about that.
I've never thought that Brady should have to fulfill his suspension, honestly. I think that it's unjust. Should it go to the Supreme Court? Absolutely not.
No, of course
This has nothing to do with the American worker. I can't even wrap my mind around how that would even make any sense at all. No. This is about deflating a football.
Yeah.
But I think that it's unjust. I think that he should get fined because if he even did this, it was wrong, absolutely. But I don't think that he should get suspended for it because, the NFL is basing this around because he wouldn't give them his cell phone.
Yeah, that's another big part of it, though. I mean, it kind of feels like he's hiding something.
Which he may be.
Yeah.
But I don't think that there's enough evidence to say that he absolutely did it. I think that he should be free, honestly. Or if you're going to do something, fine him. because suspending him for 4 games. Think about this, Andy. I'll put this in your terms.
Okay, yeah.
Suspending Tom Brady for 4 games is like suspending an MLB player for 41 games because he tampered with a baseball.
Thank you for putting that in baseball terms for me.
Would you agree with that?
All right, probably not.
41 games.
It's interesting when you put it in those terms because baseball seasons are so much longer, and football season it's only 16 weeks.
Yeah.
So 41 games, probably not. We have seen pitchers though get suspended for about 10 games for messing with I remember recently who was it? Ivan Nova, I believe it was. He had the pine tar on his neck, so he got 10 games for that. So maybe he should only be suspended for maybe 1 or 2 games.
4 games is.
But tampering with stuff does garner a suspension. Baseball does it, and now football's trying to get that as well.
Yeah.
It's 4 games is kind of a lot. When you put it
I think it's a lot, and the Colts were gonna lose that game anyway.
Yeah, it was 51 to 7.
Yeah, it was. I don't think that the Balls really did a ton, but it also garners the question: how long has he been doing this?
Yeah.
But there's no evidence behind that, so you really can't do anything.
There's no evidence, but he did not want to give up stuff. So even though that he was in the report, I am totally forgetting the guy's name. The guy that filed the report that he said he didn't do anything wrong, like the federal case. I remember.
Yeah.
He said he didn't do anything wrong, so that should be enough to be like, all right, he didn't do anything wrong, but you did try and keep stuff from us. So here's a 1-game suspension.
They're suspending him 4 games for not cooperating with NFL investigation, and I think that he should have if he was if he was innocent, he should have. But I also think that it's more of he just didn't want to give up his cell phone, thought he shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not a case for the American people. No one is as rich as Tom Brady. He needs to stop saying that because that's not true.
I agree.
Just suspend him 1 game, keep him from playing week 1 because I actually played Tom Brady week 1. So suspend him 1 game. I'm fine with that. 4 games.
Give Garoppolo a start.
Yeah, I like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's from around here.
Yeah, he is.
Eastern Illinois product. I'm fine with that. Yeah, show that Ohio Valley Conference. Get him in the limelight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we are on Brady. Take it down a little bit. Stop. Well, first of all, bump it down and stop talking about Brady.
Stop talking about Brady.
Stop. No one cares anymore. If you're not from Boston, stop talking about Brady. No one cares.
All right, next topic, Andy.
Yeah, you go.
All right, so the MLB All-Star rosters were announced last night. The Cubs and the Red Sox absolutely dominated the AL and the NL, respectively. And so, Andy, do you think that there were any snubs? What are your thoughts about it?
All-Star rosters. I'll start with the Cubs because that's my forte. I believe so 7 of them made it. It was Rizzo, Zobrist, Russell, Bryant, Fowler, Arrieta, and Lester. I believe that 5 of those 7 deserve it.
Who are you taking out?
All right. Well, I shouldn't say that they don't deserve to be all-stars, but I don't believe Zobrist or Russell deserve to be starters.
Really?
Yeah, because I think Rizzo definitely deserves to be the starter for the NL. People are saying oh, Goldschmidt's better, and while Goldschmidt may be better, Goldschmidt did not produce like he usually does in the first half. So therefore, that kind of only leaves Rizzo in for starting first base. And then Bryant definitely deserves third base. It's close with Arenado.
I agree there.
But because of Bryant leads the MLB in home runs, I think that kind of gives him an edge in being able to start in the All-Star game. But when you get to Zobrist has been really good. Really good. He's been he's been a difference
phenomenal
for the Cubs team. But you can't just overstep what Daniel Murphy's done for the Nationals. He's hitting not high 300s, but he's one
Yeah.
of the best hitters in the league. Hits a lot of home runs, and I think he's been overall better than Zobrist, not by much. But I do believe that Murphy probably deserves a start over Zobrist.
I think that the hitting streak probably added to why Zobrist got it. Just because his name was always up there, just because his hitting streak was so long.
Yeah, so Zobrist definitely has been good, but I think Murphy's just been a little bit better. And then Russell, I don't know if
I agree with this. I don't think that Addison Russell should be a starter.
I don't even know if he should be an all-star, to be honest.
I think he should be an all-star. Come on now. Don't play yourself.
What's he batting right now? It's not great.
His defense is phenomenal.
His defense is phenomenal. That's probably a reason why he is an all-star.
Best defensive shortstop in the league.
Oh, easily best defensive shortstop. But when you have someone like Corey Seager, like almost at 20 home runs, like
yeah, you're right.
Corey Seager probably deserves to start, and he's even younger than Russell.
Mm-hmm.
But Fowler definitely deserves to start. He's had a good start to the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if Arrieta deserves to start the All-Star game over Syndergaard. Those two are close. But with Kershaw injured, it's going to be one of those two or Strasburg.
I think Arrieta probably should.
Yeah. Arrieta probably should, just because of what he did last year after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
He deserves that. But it's going to be hard with Terry Collins as the NL manager.
Yeah, that's true.
Or he may want to not start his own starter and kind of save him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's where I stand on the Cubs players. As for snubs in the National League, I won't call Trevor Story a snub just yet because he still has a chance to get the final vote.
I don't think that he should get in the All-Star game.
Really?
Honestly.
19 home runs?
No.
I don't know. I think if you hit that many home runs, he's been cold lately.
Yeah.
But if we have to choose snubs, he'd probably be one of them. Max Scherzer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely a snub. I mean, he hasn't been great. He hasn't been Scherzer, but there are moments where he has been Scherzer. He leads the National League in strikeouts.
Wow.
Yeah,
and he's not.
He's not on the All-Star team. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't understand that, but whatever, And then on the AL side, everyone on the AL side is under 26.
I know, that's crazy.
The infield at least.
Young players absolutely dominated this All-Star. Both teams.
The Cubs and Red Sox had 9 starters combined, I believe. The most they've ever had for starters combined is 6.
Wow.
They had 9 this year.
That's
so literally half of the team, half or more than half, because you have 17 because the NL doesn't use the DH.
Yeah.
You got 17 starters. The Red Sox and Cubs have 9 of them, which is crazy to me.
It's insane.
It's awesome as a Cubs fan because you're like, we deserve this.
Do you think that all of those Red Sox players deserve to start, though? Like, do you think that Jackie Bradley Jr. deserves to start?
I'm not as up to date with the Red Sox as possible, but the Red Sox they've had some pretty good success. I don't know what's going on as a team. I think their starting pitching isn't really where it needs to be.
Yeah,
to be a good team. But Ortiz he's been doing really well in his final year. I think he probably deserves the DH.
Oh yeah,
even just for the sentimental value.
I agree.
He gets the DH.
Completely.
Bradley Jr. Who was the Red Sox that had the huge hitting streak? Was it Bradley?
Yeah, it was Bradley Jr.
Yeah, Bradley probably deserved that start then.
And they got Xander Bogaerts and Mookie Betts.
You got the killer bees. Bogaerts, Betts,
they both,
Bradley.
I think that they both deserve to.
I think those guys do. I think those guys are going to be the core of the Red Sox for a while.
I agree. They've got a good core.
Yeah, and the Reds. Young players are just taking over the league right now. Everyone
completely.
loves the young players. The Cubs infield, the AL infield. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you have Buster Posey catching.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun watching that All-Star game to just see all those Cubs come out for the starting lineup. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Buster Posey.
Yeah. For me, it's gonna be super cool as a Cubs fan. Any fan will tell you that they want their team to get as many All-Stars as possible. And I just get to be living that, and that's super cool to me. I'm cool with it all.
Yeah, I agree.
But as far as AL snubs, it's hard to say because Carlos Correa hasn't been himself this year.
No.
But
I think George Springer probably should have made it.
George Springer should have made it. He's in the final vote. I was going to say him. But that probably has something to do with the Astros just not having a great start of the year.
It does. You know, they've done better recently, but
it's tough to say.
Yeah.
For Carlos Correa because you know he's good. Like he should be an all-star. He just hasn't been performing. He's not.
He doesn't have He has not had an all-star year, and so
not yet.
You know, really nothing. If you don't perform the way that you should, sorry. You know.
Yeah, it's hard to say because like if you go with video game ratings, he's like a 97 overall compared to the rest of the league. He just hasn't been performing that way, which has been tough.
Yeah.
Because you know he should be so much better, but he just isn't doing it right now. But this for me, I love watching the home run derby, the All-Star games. So
it's so much fun.
I can't wait, especially for the home run derby.
The home run derby is always a blast.
I'm probably gonna have to record it because I probably work that night. When you work for baseball, you work at very odd times in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Like I will work from. I'm not a full-time employee, so I don't have to be there all day. But I work from probably around 5 p.m. and then I get home around 11.
Wow.
So I have to either they feed us there, which is nice. But usually I grab like Wendy's or something on my way home at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So working in baseball is weird. You have to record a lot of important events. Like this past weekend, I had to record both NASCAR races. Because I like NASCAR. I'm sorry if you don't like NASCAR. It's a sport. I love it. We won't get into that right now. But yeah, recording stuff. I'll probably record the All-Star game. Will you watch it? Are you gonna watch it?
I probably will. I'm not the biggest baseball fan.
It's me. I'm the biggest baseball fan.
But will I watch it? Probably. We'll see.
Just to see all those young players, man.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. All right, Andy. Mm-hmm. To move into our last topic of the day.
Yep.
Who are your MLB top 5 power rankings?
All right. This is an interesting subject right now for me because the Cubs have been at the top of the power rankings all year, except this past streak. They have been doing bad since we started doing this.
You're right. They have.
Maybe we should just stop doing the Andy and Mitch
show. Well, we can't let down our viewers.
Yeah, I know. I'll take the Cubs L if I need to keep my viewers entertained. But also James Shields has done well ever since we made fun of him.
Yeah.
Let's hold off on top 5 right now. Let's talk about the Andy and Mitch effect that's been going on in baseball right now. Because James Shields has really picked it up since we made fun of him. I think he listened.
I think he listened as well.
And then he was like, we can't let these guys down.
No, absolutely not.
So
and yeah, the Cubs have really struggled since we started up the show.
Why? Whatever. Why did the White Sox do well and the Cubs suck? Whatever.
I don't know.
I'll take the L on that one. But for top 5 teams right now, I'm going to start at the bottom of my 5.
Okay.
Number 5. I'm going to go with Baltimore. Because the Orioles have been just solid all year for some reason, and no one really knows why. Baltimore, I do know the reason why. They've been just hitting a lot of home runs.
Yeah, Matt Wieters is raking right now.
Oh, yeah. Wieters, Trumbo, Davis, Jones, they're all hitting a ton of home runs, which is it's weird. I mean, I guess when you think of all those guys individually, like, oh, yeah, they should be hitting a lot of home runs. But they just haven't ever all done it before at the same time. Well, this is Trumbo's second year with the Orioles. I don't know. Trumbo's been all over the place. He started with like the Angels and then went to the Mariners and then the Diamondbacks. He's been all over. But Trumbo, he should be hitting well. Finally, he's hitting well. He's at like 24 this year already. Second place in Major League Baseball behind Chris Bryant. Just want to let you know. But the Orioles are right there. Chris Tillman has been like silently like amazing.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Like I don't know how he's doing it because I feel like everyone's always expected Chris Tillman to be awesome.
And then finally he kind of came into his own. He's 10-3.
It's something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But it for like years ago, it was supposed to be Tillman, Arrieta, and like Matus as like the like best like the three-headed monster of the Orioles rotation. But Arrieta picked it up, just not with the Orioles. And finally, Tillman is doing well now. So good for the Orioles. They're number 5. They lead the AL East right now, so good for them. Number 4 is the Texas Rangers because they've just, I don't know how they've been doing so well. You think about their team, and they're like, oh, that's like a good team, but it's not
they're not like great, though.
Yeah, I know.
They're not
like
52 wins at this point in the season.
Who's their all-star?
Good.
It's like, it's not Prince Fielder. He has not been doing great.
No.
Like, who is the leader of that team?
Beltre, Hamels.
It's just, I mean, I guess the pitching is
definitely Ian Desmond. Ian Desmond, that's probably
Ian Desmond. Why? It's just, pitching has probably led that team with Hamels, Darvish. Darvish has come back recently. I love you, Darvish. Usually, I'm not usually. I'm just gonna say that word a ton. I am not usually very keen on foreign players, just because I think it's tough to transition their game from their game to Major League Baseball. But you, Darvish, has. You know, you hear about all these like amazing pitching prospects coming from Japan, like Masahiro Tanaka, and you see what happened to him. Like, he started great, and now he's
not very good anymore.
But Yu Darvish has been really good.
He's been phenomenal ever since he came into the league.
Oh yeah, Yu Darvish is awesome. So I really like him. And I also believe they have Derek Holland. I think he's doing well. Derek Holland.
Yeah, he has.
But the Rangers just they're just killing it right now. I wish they'd stop because it's intruding on the Cubs, but whatever. But number 3, I have the San Francisco Giants, because the Giants it's an even year, so pretty much they're turning it on right now. It's frustrating, but the Giants, even year cheese. It's just been a combination of their core position players, Posey really leading them, Cueto and Samardzija coming in.
Yeah, their starting pitching's been great.
Yeah, Bumgarner doing great again. They've just been good. I don't know what to tell you. They just have been good. So good. That's why they're at number 3 right now. They've been hot recently, like super hot. Like, their starting pitching has not lost a game in forever. But that is it on the Giants. So go to number 2. And I have my Chicago Cubs. It sucks having it number 2 because you always want to be number 1. I just have to remind myself that the power rankings mean nothing, and that all they need to do is turn it on in October. Like, that's all it is. Everyone always tells Cubs fans, like, just wait until October. And I'm like, oh, I am waiting until October. Like, I clearly know October is where all this happens.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I can't enjoy everything that's happening right now. Like, just kicking butt in the regular season is amazing.
It's fun.
It's super fun. It's not like I think we're gonna win the World Series just because we're killing everyone in the regular season.
Yeah, regular season means virtually
we're good.
nothing.
It means we're good. We're gonna make the postseason, but it doesn't mean anything. I know that. It's just really fun to beat up on people. Not recently. We haven't beat up on people recently.
Yeah.
We're playing like 500 baseball over our last 30 games.
30, yeah. We're 15-15 in our last 30.
Which is disappointing.
Yeah.
But they just hit a bad streak. Players getting injured, and everyone kind of getting to a cold streak. Because like, they are in a cold streak right now.
Absolutely.
That's clear. I'm not going to blame this all on injuries, but it was just a combination of the injuries and everyone kind of getting into a slump, which is really what has brought them to earth so fast. So that's why they're at number 2, because they clearly on a cold streak. But number 1, and how can it be anyone else? It's Cleveland.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Naps, as I like to call them, their original name for Nap LaJoy. Look him up, kids. He was a good player. Cleveland has just went on that crazy streak. I don't know if you saw, but first of all, they had won every game since the Cavaliers won the championship.
Yeah, they did recently lose.
Yeah, they did. They went to a 19-inning game as well.
Yeah.
Which was really fun to watch. Because I was at work that day. It was really fun to watch the game, like, in the press box before the game was starting, because the broadcaster for our team is a Cleveland fan. He's from Ohio, so that was super fun to watch. But there was an ESPN graphic that showed the the Cavaliers rode to the playoffs where they beat Detroit in the first round, and then Atlanta in the next round, right? No, it
Yeah.
wasn't Atlanta. Wasn't Atlanta?
Wait. Yes. No. Shoot.
It was Atlanta, I think.
I don't know.
You're thinking too hard about this. But I believe it was Detroit, Atlanta, and then beat Toronto twice, and then lose to Toronto twice. And they compared that to the Indians' schedule, and Cleveland had swept Detroit, swept Atlanta, and then won 2 against the Blue Jays, and then lost 2 against the Blue Jays, which is exactly what the Cavaliers did. And I thought that was super funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did that happen? I have no idea. That's just crazy. Clearly, it's not rigged. It's just magic.
And they would probably beat the A's too.
Oh, they'd probably beat the A's as well. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be funny if they had a series against the A's. It'd be I don't remember how it went, but the A's would win 3, and then Indians would just.
That wouldn't happen though.
Would it not?
I think that the Indians would win more than 4 games in a 7-game series.
Yeah, Cleveland would
against the A's.
The Naps would definitely destroy them, but that's my 5. It goes Orioles, Rangers, Giants, Cubs, Naps. All right. Your turn, Mitch.
I got Nationals at 5.
Okay.
Just because of Steven Strasburg, Daniel Murphy, Bryce Harper. I would say that right now Strasburg is probably the most dominant pitcher with Kershaw out. He might be the most dominant pitcher in baseball right now.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
There's obviously Chris Sale, even Pat Tillman. You could say is pitching very well.
Pat Tillman was a safety for the Cardinals that lost his life.
You are correct. You are correct.
It is 4th of July weekend, so we can say thank you to Pat Tillman. Thank you, Pat Tillman.
Yes,
that's exactly why Mitch brought you up. But anyways, Chris Tillman.
Yeah. And then I put the Rangers at 4, like you did. Their pitching is good. They're only 2-5 in their last 7 games, so they're in a little bit of a slump. But we talked about the Cubs. I have them at 3 actually. Like I said, 15 and 15 in their last 30. That's 500 baseball, and no team that's playing or hitting or winning 500 or 50% of their games should be in the top 5 at all.
No, yeah.
So I think that they just everything came down at the same time. And then I have the Giants at 2. And you explained the Giants super well. It's it's even year.
I do love baseball, so
you do. And then I have the Indians at number 1, like you did. They're the hottest team in baseball. Lindor's an all-star.
Oh, I love Lindor.
We know you love Lindor.
Lindor's great. And then the Naps are gonna get even better as soon as Brantley comes off the DL.
Brantley comes back, yeah. Mm-hmm. And he should be do you know when he's coming back?
Late July, I want to say. Early August.
Yeah. Right
around then.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's our top 5.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, debate with us. We didn't mention this earlier, but you can use oh boy, I got to use my hand to try and find it. You can use the hashtag right there. Hashtag Andy and Mitch. Not hashtag Andy and Mitch show. Not hashtag Andy Mitch show. Hashtag Andy and Mitch. And
yes,
that's it.
Debate with us. Tell us what you want. Tell us what topics you want to talk about. What you want us to talk about.
Yeah,
give us
topics.
Your opinions.
I'll probably
or just give us feedback.
Yeah, give us feedback. I'll probably ask a question every week, and I will pick my favorite answer. Last week I asked, where would your ESPN body issue shoot be? And my favorite answer was from our friend of the show, friend we know from college, Matt Varney. He said the African Sahara. So that's where Matt Varney's ESPN body shoot would be. Great response, I'd say. Not as good as press box.
No, not as good.
Booth, but it was definitely up there. All right. So we're at the end of the show. So you know what that means. Mitch, take it away.
This is my FaceTime, and this is so hard for me to do, but I need to give myself a level head more than anything right now. After all this news about Kevin Durant flooded my head, I need to calm down. Because as good as this Warriors team is, super teams have not had a very good chance in their first year. Let's start in 1997, the year I was born, when Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, and Charles Barkley all decided to go to Houston. A failed attempt as they lost in the conference finals to the Utah Jazz. Then let's go to 2004, maybe the best super team of all time, when Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, and Horace Grant all decided to team up in LA. They ended up losing to the Pistons in the 2004 NBA Finals. Most recently, the 2010-2011 Miami Heat formed their big three with Bosh, Wade, and LeBron James, and they lost to the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals. And so they were calling that the biggest collapse in NBA history. Last year's Warriors were probably overtaking them as the biggest collapse in NBA history, but if this team does not win a title, that will be the biggest collapse by an NBA team in NBA history. And the Warriors fan in me really, really wants them to win a title, but no title is guaranteed, so we will just have to see how this season plays out.
Hello, you watching this video right now. I have an important topic that I want to discuss with you. This topic is the upcoming Summer Olympic Games. Now, we all love the Summer Olympics. We love to watch along on NBC. Bob Costas taking us through the events. We all love to care about curling and swimming for a couple of weeks. But this year, it's got a little bit of a different feel to it, because Rio de Janeiro, where the Summer Olympics will be in 2016, the city that beat out Chicago, and thank God it did beat out Chicago, because it is a crapshoot out there right now, and I would not want that to be happening right outside my house in the next couple of weeks. Right now in Rio, it is probably one of the worst set up Olympics of all time. There are bodies washing up on the beach. All of the rivers are filled with sewage. The homeless population is rising in Brazil. And all of this is happening simply because of the Olympics. There has been a trend. The last couple of Olympics have just left a wake in their path. Every city has just been left in complete despair, pretty much losing money on the Olympics because the city does not make any money except for tourism. And even the Olympics take some of that tourism as through a deal that they make with each city that they go to. Yet somehow cities still fall into this trap that the Olympics bring just to make money for themselves. So I'm not asking you to boycott it or anything. I'm not asking you to just stop watching and write your senators and tell them to stop bringing the Olympics around. But all I'm asking you to do is think about what you're watching right now, because the Zika virus is out there killing people in South America. And I think it's a very important topic to think about when we try to enjoy these games that are coming up. I mean, even some players aren't going to go to Brazil because they're too afraid of the Zika virus. It's just tough all around right now. I've clearly never been a fan of the Olympics, but with the Olympics just taking advantage of these cities, and even doping athletes are now getting by, because as recently as last Olympics with the Russian doping scandal, that some countries just will do anything to try and win, and that's not what the games were initially meant to do. They weren't initially meant to, break cities' banks and leave them in despair. They weren't meant to encourage people to change their bodies to try and win the gold medal. All they were trying to do was just have a friendly competition. I don't think that's possible anymore in the world we live in. So I will not be watching the Olympics. You can if you want, but if you do watch it, just remember what's actually happening and not what Bob Costas is trying to get you to see.
What a somber end to our show.
Yeah, the Olympics isn't it's no light deal. The Olympics are in a bad state right now. And,
I agree completely.
It sucks, but I've never been a fan of the Olympics, so whatever. Especially, what pissed me off the most about the Olympics? Everyone's suddenly caring about curling and the Winter Olympics. Everyone is just like, oh man, curling. It was like the 2008 Olympics or something. I don't curling. Sucks. Why is everyone caring about this? And people were like, yeah, we know it sucks, but curling. And I was like, what is happening? Why? I never understood that. I never will. And if curling just ceases to exist, I will be a happy camper. To be honest with you. But That's the show.
That is the show, everyone.
That's
Thank you so
episode
much.
003.
003.
Still, we mentioned this earlier, but still no Kristaps Porzingas. We'll get him on here eventually.
We'll get him on eventually.
Yeah, before 100,
Next week's
I'd say.
episode is going to be a special episode, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. I'm going to be in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
Boo.
So I will not be able to talk on these topics of the week, but we will have a very, very special episode for 004. And for all you guys, like we said before, if you like this, leave a like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you need to do. Use the hashtag Andy and Mitch to talk to us on Twitter. Andy, any last final thoughts?
Don't watch the Olympics. That's it.
All right, see you guys next week. Bye.